Alright, so I decided to have a little bit of fun with the Malcievorous monsters. I think that's how you say it. It's Malcievorous. Malcievorous. They're a bunch of level 2 fiend-type monsters that allow them to like special summon each other from the grave. Actually, only this one. Malcievorous Knife is the best of them, and the other two kind of suck. But they work together for special summon themselves out. The whole deck is about getting out rank 2s. Same thing with like Giant Germ, Necro Defender. That way you can use this little card right here since he requires 2 level 2 dark type monsters. And since he's a fiend dark type monster, you can use a rank up on him to go into a Dark Storm. Or King over Fiend. King over Fiend kind of sucks, but Storm is awesome. What you can do with it is like ram it into your opponent's monsters and deal a whole bunch of life point damage to them. I think I actually like ended in a draw on one duel because I just rammed into him. Because you take the damage at the same time as your opponent. So that's a lot of fun, but you need to have Dark Mist if you want to get a second effect off. And Dark Mist usually isn't worth going into, but I do go into him a couple of times. You can just rank up a Vision Buster on him. You don't have to actually make a Dark Mist, because Dark Mist doesn't really have any kind of protection against attack. I mean, from like destruction or any kind of effects. But he can't really be destroyed by battle, because this guy is a beast when it comes to attacking. But this guy, well, he doesn't really have any protection either, but he's a lot of fun to play with. So I just wanted to make a deck where you go into this guy. For this one, this is kind of like a one-sided skill drain. It's still pretty neat, but he only has 1600 attacks, so it's not as good as this guy. It can't be destroyed by battle, you can just ram into your opponent to deal a whole bunch of damage to them. And that's a lot of fun. And you can also use Necro Defender. He works great in this deck because one of the Malcievorous guys... Which one is it? Is it Fork? So you can send one of the Fiend-type monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. And he's level 2, which works with the whole theme of the deck, where it's all level 2 Fiend-type monsters. So you can send Necro Defender to the grave, activate his effect on your... Oh, what's his name? I already forgot. It's Dark Mist something. Dark Storm, and you won't take any life point damage there in that turn. You can just ram him to all your opponent's monsters and do a ton of damage. And it's a lot of fun. This is actually a pretty fun deck. I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I'm saying fun a lot. That's because this deck is fun. I'm having a lot of fun with Trap Stun too. In Safe Zone I never actually really got to use it once. But I'm pretty sure Safe Zone would be nice in this deck. And Dimensional Slide. And actually, you know what? I'll talk about that at the end of the video when I do the deck list. Alright, and as for the deck for this, there's triple Junk Synchron, triple Giant Germ, double Sambel the Summoner, triple Malcievorous Knife, triple Malcievorous Fork, double Malcievorous Spoon, double Necro Defender, triple Evac Veiler, one Allure, triple Rank Up, Barion's Force, triple MST, one XYZ Reborn, double Mirror Force, one Torrential, double Trap Stun, double Dimensional Slide, one Compulse, and triple Safe Zone. Alright, so for this deck, it's all about going into Dark Storm, because Dark Storm's a lot of fun to play with. Preferably, you want to rank up a Dark Mist into a Dark Storm, but Dark Mist is really a liability to have out in the field since he requires 3 XYZ materials and he's so easily taken out with like a Compulse or Torrential or Solemn Warning. Well, it's if you go into Vision Buster, they're more likely to leave it alone. But then again, you still have the same problem with Dark Storm, where they'll just use the same thing to use on Dark Mist, since his only protection is he can't be destroyed by battle. So that's what Safe Zone's for, in theory anyway. A lot of things work good in theory, but in practice, not so well. Kind of like Necro Defender. He seems cool in theory, where you can just use him with Dark Storm and your opponent takes all the battle damage when you just ram him into him. But in actual practice, he's not really working that great. I'll probably replace him with something else. Malcievorous Spoon. This guy is pretty good, because when he's out in the field and one of your other Malcievorous monsters are normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 2 Fiend type monster from your grave. So you can go into a nice rank summon with this. So what you do is normal summon this guy, and then use Malcievorous Fork's effect to special summon himself from your hand. And what you can do is use his effect to like send another like knife or spoon to the grave, and then once this guy special summons himself, you can activate Spoon's effect to bring back the monster you discarded for this guy's effect. So with Spoon, you can theoretically get out all these cards in one turn. While with Knife, you can just recover them from the grave, which is what you're going to be doing most of the time, because rarely will you ever have Spoon plus Fork in your hand at the same time, and actually have the materials to use Fork without actually having to discard Spoon. So that's why I only have 2 Spoons, because he seems like the best card in here in theory, but rarely do you ever get the magical Fork Spoon combo. And you're just going with Knives or Sambel. Sambel, actually, I'm not really too keen on, since it special summons from your hand, and yeah, that's not really a good thing. Giant Germ, though, is awesome. He's level 2 Fiend type monster. He works great in this deck, and he can special summon 2 copies from the deck. I'm loving Giant Germ. He's here to stay. Junk Synchron, because this whole deck uses level 2 monsters, and Junk Synchron's really good. Basically, any deck that uses the graveyard, any card that uses the graveyard as effortlessly as Synchron and Knife does is a good card. And what this deck is all about is going into Vision Buster, because he requires 2 level 2 Dark type monsters. That's what all of the Forks are, plus, Defender and Giant Germ. The only one who isn't is Sambel. That's why I'm probably just going to get rid of it, since it's not dark, so I can't actually use the Vision Buster. Because you need the Vision Buster to rank up with Rank Up Magic to go into Dark Storm or King Overfiend. When you have Vision Buster ranked up into King Overfiend basically has like the Destiny Hero Plasma effect, where your opponent can't activate their card effects, which is awesome. That's pretty good, but he only has 1600 attack, so he's really easy to kill. So that's what the safe zone's for, but I never actually drew into a safe zone once, so never actually really got to use that. Plus, you can always detach an XYZ material to decrease the attack of one of your opponent's monsters by 1000, so you could possibly attack over someone, or maybe not. Dark Storm is the really good one, though, because you see, if you rank up Vision into a Dark Storm, he doesn't gain a second effect, which is actually really good, but you can still just ram him into your opponent's monsters to deal damage. And if you safe zone him, he can't be destroyed, and your opponent can just keep attacking him and they'll take damage. And that's just, it's not really like the best strategy in the world, but it's a lot of fun to do. And as for the other cards, it's just generic level 2s. Dark Mist, if you actually rank up Dark Mist into a Dark Storm, he gains a second effect where you can make your opponent's attack 0, then gain attack equal to the attack they lost, which is really good actually, but this deck doesn't really make Dark Mist as well as I thought it would, because Dark Mist is a huge liability when he's out. But XYZ Reborn is a good way to bring him out and then rank him up, so I'll probably have to I'll probably just adjust around that. Exclusively bringing out Dark Mist, and then probably play a different rank up card so I can guaranteed go into Darkstorm really fast. Because it's really hard to, because you know, the only way to go into him is with rank up, since he's a CWXY. He's a C monster, or 4 level 3 dark monsters, yeah right, like I'm going to do that. As everything else, I'm really liking Mirror Force and Torrential, because they have the possibility to trade 2 for 1, which is always really good. I'm having a lot of fun with Trapstun. It has yet to be actually that's not true. It's really good. I haven't really dead drawed with it, even with all these continuous. It's probably just because I never actually drew into it. I'm still trying it out, because Trapstun is really nice for stopping a Mirror Force or a bottomless trap hole. And I'm just liking it right now. I'm using it in place of when I usually use Lance. Dimensional Slide, never drew into it once, which kind of sucks, because this deck's all about special summoning going to XYZ summons. So I'll probably take it out and just replace it with something more reliable, but I want to try it out. I really want to make this card work, but I just never drew into it. And then I just have these because of Junk Synchron's in here. This deck isn't about Junk Synchron, it's all about going into Darkstorm because Darkstorm is cool.